Welcome back to my channel. My name is Book and if you're new, please do not forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything in this channel. And for my returning subscribers, thank you very much for always watching. I really appreciate it. And hang tight because I have something really nice for you today. So, you know how last time, okay, it's not really last time, like I made a video before talking about how you can pick up a reading habit this year. Okay, and I really shared honest tips on that. But people would always find excuses not to read, and I really want everyone to pick up reading because reading is really nice. Reading has really helped me. I picked up reading really early because of my dad, but I think that it's something that you can actually just start anytime and enjoy. It's like TV in your head. So I don't, but only better, of course. Of course, it's only better. So I think that people should really pick up reading this year. So I made a list of books that you can read in 2 hours, even 6 minutes, quick reads, and the genre is actually fiction. For people who love non-fiction, don't worry, I'm going to create your own list. But as I said in my other video, you should diversify your reading list. I mean, I'm not really a person who loves non-fiction, but I'm trying to take my own advice, and I want to actually diversify my own reading TV hours as well. So I actually started reading a biography last night, and it really offended me, so I put it to the side. But I'm trying to read non-fiction anyway. But for today, we're going to be talking about fiction, and you should also just wait and listen because it's really nice. These books, you can read them on your way to work, while you wait for your coffee or your tea. There's another audiobook, so it's really beautiful. So while you walk out, while you prepare your meals, you can actually just be listening to these books. And you can just really read these books before your bedtime. It's really nice like that. And each book I'm going to be talking about is available on the Scribd app because Scribd has this really juicy plan. If you just download the app, you'll get 30 days free. But if you should use my link, because I'm going to be referring you as a friend, you're going to get 60 days. 60 days free. How good is that? It's really beautiful, right? So follow the link below and sign up for Scribd. Yeah, that's it. So first book I'm going to be recommending. So this book is going to take you about 4 hours to finish. It's a collection of 9 stories and it's by Deisha Filio. Deisha Filio is an African American writer, and this collection of short stories is actually about Black women in battling with all sorts of things, mostly about their sexuality, identity, and all that. So the stories are so beautiful. 9 breathtaking stories. So you can actually read this one at a time, maybe before bedtime. You can just read one story, which I doubt because I finished it in one night because it was so amazing. Deisha did an amazing job. My favorite story is Peach Cobbler, so you can check that out. So you can just read that first since I'm recommending it. Peach Cobbler is my favorite. The story has a sincerity and a vulnerability to it that I love so much. And the story starts, I'm just going to read it out to you. My mother's peach cobbler was so good, it made God himself cheat on his wife. When I read this first line, I just balanced and I was just in for it all the way. So it's just going to take you 4 hours to read. It's not much from your 24 hours. It's time well spent if you ask me. And you don't have to finish the 9 stories in one day. So Never Again by Flora Wapa. Flora Wapa is the godmother or the mother of Nigerian literature for females, and Flora Wapa is so brilliant. This was like my favorite book, short story or book from March. It just ended March, now in April. So I really enjoyed this story. This story is going to just take you about. Sorry for checking. I wrote them down. So this story is just going to take you about 2 hours to complete. How amazing is that? And you know what's really cool about this story? If you're not an African or you're not Nigerian, but it's good to follow up international news. So if you follow Nigerian stories, or if you don't know, Nigeria had a very important time in history, which was the Civil War. Civil War was where millions of people died. So this is like from an observer or a participator's perspective, a woman's perspective actually, and it just tell you how gruesome war is. And this woman is so realistic. And if I love this story so much because the main character in this book is actually me. If I were in that war situation, I think that I would have acted the same way. It's so sincere. It's one of the most, it's always a work of fiction. It's one of the most sincere accounts of the war that I have read. I'm yet to read a lot of books about the war, but I've watched same documentaries and I've read books, both fiction and non-fiction, and I also studied history and international studies in school. So this is actually one of the most sincere accounts of the war. This story, the person's actually on the Biafran side of the war, and she was just really giving us how it is in a society at war. So beautiful, well written, impeccable. This book is just right for you. It shows how inhumane man can be. Read this book and you'll thank me later. Trawapa is a legend. Closely behind is Trawapa's collection of stories, which is titled Wives at War. Just like the Secret Lives of the Church Ladies, by their title you shall know them. But it's not always though. But when you hear a title, it kind of captivates you. You won't pretend that titles do not play a big role in making a book interesting or inviting. So Wives at War is something that you would love to, because it also tells of women in war situations, like during the Biafra War and in other life situations that are warlike. So it just shows women battling all sorts of things. It's such a beautiful book, beautiful collection of stories. It just take you about 2 hours to read. How amazing is that? 2 hours. And Rawapa is so detailed in her writing. So you really, really, really go on a journey with the characters. It's amazing. Then we go on to an Ajayi Crowther Street. This is a comic, like it's an illustrated book, and it's written by the very talented Nathan John. And this book is going to just take you 6 minutes to finish. Yes, you heard me right. 6 minutes to finish. 6 minutes. You can do that on your way to work. It's so beautiful. There's a lot of comic relief in it. Nathan has such a nice sense of humor, and it did not escape in this book. Really nice. And Nathan on Ajayi Crowther Street is like an environment of family and all, and it is in Nigeria. It's set in Nigeria, and behind everything, these are churchgoers, and you know how judgy we are in society. So behind closed doors, what's happening when nobody's there? People are actually having all sorts of secrets. So on Ajayi Crowther Street is such a beautiful read. It touched on very important topics, and if you like to call it sensitive, some sensitive topics that Nigerian laws have not yet embraced. So it really expatiates on these laws that are quite gruesome towards people who are practicing same-sex relationships. So this book really gives us like, okay, look into this. And we also talk about rape and really beautiful, really beautiful things in this book. So you just pick it up and read. I would love to have my own copy, like a hard copy of this I would love to have a hard copy because the book is so beautiful. I saw it once in the bookstore and it was so beautiful, but it was quite expensive, so I couldn't purchase it that day. But once I have my cash, I'm definitely going to get this book because I really like it. And it's something that you can just really, amazing. It's something you can actually hand to your visitors or your guests when they come in to see you. They can just go through it. It's such a nice book, I kid you not. Chasing Butterflies by Yejide Kilako. I got to know about Yejide last year. Okay, no, not really last year. I have been sleeping on Yejide for a while now. So until I read Daughters Who Walk This Path one beautiful Sunday last year, and I never looked back. Usually Kill and Pause book Chasing Butterfly will take you just about 2 hours to read and finish. Yeah, amazing. It's a story that really centers on domestic abuse and finding your voice and finding your purpose. So I was really, really sad reading this book because it really touched on domestic abuse in a way that a lot of people are really going through such things, and I really just I was mad reading it. Not really mad, but I just really felt pity for Titi Lope in this book, and I was glad that she was able to find her voice. She was able to break free and just move on with her life. Just 2 hours, 2 hours, and you read such an amazing book that will teach you a lot of things. Just 2 hours. It's really nice. Don't sleep on this book. Then Tales of East Africa. It's a collection of stories from Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. This book, if you love folk tales, you need to read this book. If you love good stories, if you love stories about animals, monsters, fairy tales, anything, you would enjoy this book. And this book has such a rich history to it, because you know that folk tales are actually the primary source of history. So if you want to learn about these beautiful East Africans, you can read this collection of short stories. Because from what we're told, that you can, in a story, it can mention that Mr. Tortoise, and in actual fact is that Mr. Tortoise is actually somebody in the society. But just because they didn't want to mention that person's name, they'll just use animals and how they behave. So if they call you a snake, you're going to be playing a snake in the story. So if you're a lover of folk tales, 22 amazing stories, and guess what? You can read in just 2 hours. I'm not quite done with this book yet, because I'm really just taking it a day at a time, and most time before my bedtime. But you can finish it in 2 hours. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing to me, and you get to read really nice stories. And there's another catch: the book is illustrated. Every story comes with an illustration by Jamila Okubo. So you can actually just check out this book. Read and read and read. There's nothing wrong with reading. There's nothing wrong with diversifying your TBRs. Read new books. Read like your life depends on it. Reading is fundamental. I don't need to say it twice. This was fun. I'll definitely be doing it again. Definitely be doing it again, because I had so much fun telling you about these books and how long it will take for you to read them. And mind you, this doesn't mean that you must read it in the time I slated. No, you can actually follow your pace, but it's just an estimate. It doesn't mean that everybody has to read it at that given time to. And I know you understand what I'm trying to say. So just, if you pick up any of these books, let me know, and I would love to hear your thoughts on them. For people who love nonfiction, I'll come with a list too, God willing, because I'm not really into nonfiction, but I'll try, because I want to diversify my TBR. So until next time, take good care of yourself. Goodbye.